G'day, Stu from UAVfutures here, and today, well, we're actually going to be checking out something that's probably going to be pretty useful to you guys. So this is just a little micro case. I know for me, definitely when I'm sort of transporting things around, when I first started, I was carrying things around in like a shopping bag, and then I went out and I got a suitcase, and then I got a backpack, and pretty much for me, transport, and you want things to be as easy as possible, transport is a massive, I guess, issue and something that you want to get right. So the beauty of this little bad boy is, this thing is pretty awesome for carrying around like your tiny whoops and your Qx90s and all those tiny little micro quads that you might be flying. So definitely, I've been flying a heap of these things lately because it's been just like torrential weather down here. It's been absolutely disgusting and I haven't had too many chances to get outside and fly some of the bigger boys. So I've been flying heaps of these little ones around, and when I saw this case on Banggood, I was like, yep, that's probably something that people are going to be interested in. So let's stick it on the bench. It'll be a fairly short video. I'll show you how it comes and how I've set mine up, and hopefully that can help some of you guys out. Anyway, let's get started. Alrighty, so the outside is just sort of your standard sort of suitcase sort of. It's got a little bit of a flex and a zipper around the outside, but let's open it up and see what she's like. So when you first get it, it's going to look like this. Now I've modified mine a little bit, but it comes with these sort of foam pieces, but we're going to take those out and I'm going to show you. So I guess show you what it comes with. So the first part you'll notice, and I just ripped this straight out, this part right here, that's probably like if you're going to use a Hubsan or something like that. But for me, I'm not going to use that foam, but I did keep it just so I could show you this review. And then the other part up here, I'm going to take these out as well. So that's probably so you can fit some different size quads, get rid of those and that. So this is the main part that we're going to be talking about. Alrighty, so you sort of have three main useful compartments and then this one here, which isn't too exciting. But what we have, you have some spaces for your tiny drones right here, a little bit bigger, and also your FPV, or sorry, not your FPV, also your radio case. So let me show you how I've set mine up, or how I think this might be pretty useful, and some of the cool little things. So over this side, you've got space for your tiny whoop. Now, if you're going to be using a tiny whoop, I actually haven't built mine up yet, and this is like the Eachine clone version. So this is the E010. That is simply going to fit in here very well. And if you had another one, you could even stack that on top. Or I know some people have those tiny little sort of micro quads that go on here. So if you've got one of those tiny little sort of toy ones, or one, you know, the little the Cheerson or something like that, you could definitely stick that in the top right here. That's going to fit in very nicely. But here's the other cool bit. Say you had more than one tiny whoop. You could stack them on top of each other, but that's probably not the best way to store them when they're the same size. But this section just here is very, very useful if you're going to sort of transport more than one of these micros. And I know I have a bunch of these micros and I like flying them all. So say right here, this is the Qx90. I'm going to sit that into this little compartment right here. And then I can sit this in here. So that's one of the little pieces that comes with it. And then I can still sit my tiny whoop in here as well. So on this side, that's going to hold a micro on this side, like a Qx80 or a Qx90 or something like that. You can still have a tiny whoop on top as well as another tiny whoop over here. So you should be able to have all sorts of fun when you're sort of carrying things around. So there's a couple of different little configuration sort of options. Right here, I'm going to be using this space for my modules. So I know that's like my orange module. I've got an FR Sky module right there. So that's what I'm going to do. Just here, this is where I imagine you would put your tiny whoop little batteries in some of these holes. I don't know what you'd stick in that one actually, so I'm not 100% sure, because they look like they are made for specific sizes. Over this side, you've got some other sort of little battery holders. I do wish they had more of these, so I wish these were sort of placed all around, because one limitation I feel with this is I want more than 5 batteries. If I'm going to take this much stuff in a bag, let's use all the space that we can. So I'm going to be putting my batteries in just here, so that's probably what I'll be flying up. I've got to charge these because I want to fly these tomorrow actually. So you've only really got space for 1, 2, 3, 4, only 4 batteries actually, so I definitely wish they could cut some more in. Not 100% sure what this one's for. Maybe if you've got some of the larger or higher voltage batteries, or some of the bigger graphene 1S batteries, you could be sticking them up here. And then we've got our little space for our radio down here. Now it doesn't fit your Tyrannus perfectly, because I've actually cut mine, and I'll explain why I did that in a little bit as well. But I've found to fit my Tyrannus in, it just doesn't simply slide in like it should. You have to put one end in and then slide in the other. And so it's definitely going to need a little bit of modification. I'm going to probably cut some of these out actually, but I didn't want to cut it too much before the video, so I'm going to have to mod mine a little bit, which is a little bit of a shame because on the website on Banggood, and there'll be a link somewhere down below, it did say that it does fit the Tyrannus. So that is one thing they need to look into, either change it up or change some of the foam cutouts inside here. So that probably is going to require a little bit of modification, and I think it's just these bits you're going to probably have to cut out. Everything else seems nice and sort of snug, but definitely these little bits up here, some of the switches are getting caught on there. But let me show you what I've done. So I was using this Tyrannus radio, but what I wanted to do, because I just pretty much want to have this kit ready to pick up and go out the door at a moment's notice, so I've been thinking maybe I'm going to bind my all my micros to my TBS Tango. So I've got my Tango over just here, and all I've done is I've cut out the bottom parts of the foam, so that's going to be allowed my Tango to fit in the bottom. So if you've got a Tango, that's going to fit very nicely. And imagine there's a whole bunch of radios you can stick in here, but you're probably just going to have to cut out some foam, and that's going to give me a little bit more room up here as well. Now the big thing that this thing is missing is where am I meant to put my Fat Sharks? Where am I meant to put my goggles? So I really don't want to have to take another little case if I'm going to be sort of carrying my goggles around. So what I'm thinking, I might have to sort of jig this around a little bit. Maybe I can put these down here and sort of cut out some sort of special case just here. If I open that up, I might be able to sit my FPV goggles in here and find some different little cutouts for my batteries. So I know with a little bit of jigging, I'll be able to fit everything in here. It's just a bit of a shame in its current configuration, they sort of haven't tried to push some of these things closer together or closer to the outside and make room for some Fat Shark goggles, because I don't know if you need space for 4 quads in here, but I definitely think you're going to need some room for some FPV gear. So that's probably my biggest drawback with this one, is I do wish that it had some FPV gear in here as well, or a space to put that. Now on the top, nothing too exciting. All we have here is just a little bit of a space for some zippers. So you probably could put your FPV gear in here, and I guess it might lean on some things. Actually you could, but it's not perfect. You definitely, you probably want to put something else in here. So for me, maybe I want to stick in a little portable charger, or if you want to put some spare batteries, or actually what I might do is cut this out, put my FPV gear in here, and have all my batteries sitting up in the top in this nice little zipper part. Rightio, so overall, I definitely think it's a pretty cool little case. If you're looking for something like this, is probably how I'm going to use it. I'm going to leave it pretty much set up, ready to go, sitting by the front door or under the desk, and if a friend rings up and says, hey, do you want to come over and have some micro flying, I can just pick this thing up, grab my batteries out, and put them in here and be ready to rock and roll. So that's definitely how I'm going to be using this case. So I'm probably going to have to do a little bit of modding and jigging it around, but I think it's definitely going to be useful, because I know a lot of times getting ready to go flying can be quite an issue when, especially if you don't have much time. Like you might get home from work, you got about maybe half an hour of daylight left or something before you got to go somewhere. You want things to be easy, accessible, and just easy and efficient to move around. And I definitely think that's where this is coming in. It would also be cool though if it just had some little battery, like I guess a backpack part as well, to make it just that little bit more versatile. So there it is, there's my review of this little micro carry case, or whatever you want to call it, little handbag, I'm not 100% sure, suitcase. But hopefully that helps some of you guys out there. I really like everything that comes with it and how it's customizable, and also how you can just sort of cut the foam and sort of change some things up. So it's going to make the transport of these little bad boys a lot easier. I got to find a better way of fitting my Fat Sharks in here, so then it would be perfect, and I could just stick this in the car and be ready to rock and roll sort of in a moment's notice. So hopefully that helps some of you guys out there. In some other news, it has been like torrential rain down here lately, so it's just been raining all the time, and that's why I've been doing so much micro stuff. But as soon as the weather turns a bit better, I've got a ton of exciting content to do. Like I've got the TBS Vendetta here, which is just dying and begging me to put it together and take that out for a test spin. So that's going to be a very special quad. We've got the Impulse RC Helix. I've got like a built Kraken there. It hovers, but I just haven't had a chance to take it out and give that a thrashing around. So that's that pink one up there as well. I've got the Qx90 as well. Some other news, last week I went to the post office and I ended up I was there for like half an hour because I was posting out all the stuff to my Patreon supporters, and the bill ended up being over like $260, but I think it's going to be super awesome when you guys do start receiving those packages. I know I posted out a ton of those UAVfutures Velcro straps, So if you've got some of those Velcro straps on your build, send me an email because I'd love to see what it looks like. I think that'd be super cool to sort of see some of those UAVfutures team pilots as well. So definitely, if you've got some of those on your build, send me an email with a picture because I would love to see what they look like. Anyway, I'm going to stop rambling. Subscribe for more FPV related content. Check out this case if you're into micros, and as always, happy flying. Another thing as well, I finally got my next shipment of my favorite props. So I just bought like $100 worth of Dale props. So this is what I like to fly anyway, the 50-40 V2s. So I was pretty upset when I ran out of my last ones because I've been flying around. Look, I still got a ton of other props, but I guess these are the props that I like to. This is what I spend my dollars on, is making sure I got plenty of these.